Hello students, this is Dr. Ravi Saini. Discussion is about the structure of skeletal muscles. So basically in the last class we discussed about the various types of muscles. The first one was the skeletal muscles, smooth muscle and the cardiac muscles. And we discussed about the various characteristic differences. Today we are going to discuss about the specifically skeletal muscles. Now come to the skeletal muscles. So here we are calling them striated muscles because they have striations. They have alternate light and dark band. So because of the presence of these alternate light and dark bands, these muscles are called striated muscles. The another name is the skeletal muscles because these muscles are associated with the bone and helps in the movement of various movements of limbs. So we call them skeletal muscles as well. Now come to the structural aspects. So skeletal muscles is made up of many muscle bundles or we call them fascicles. This one is a muscle or muscle bundle and this whole muscle mass is divided into smaller bundles. These individual bundle is called muscle fascicles and these fascicles are held together by the collagenous connective tissue layer. We call them fascia. Now if we take one muscle fascicle, so there are numerous muscle fibers and these muscle fibers have layers of endomysium are covered the these muscle fibers. There is an interconnective tissue we are calling it endomysium, and this muscle fascicle in which these muscle fibers are present are covered by the perimysium. If we take the example of one muscle fiber, then it is made up of many myofibrils. These are the smaller uh, fibers which are made up of specifically actin and myosin filamentous protein. Muscle fibers are lined by the plasma membrane. We call it sarcolemma, which encloses sarcoplasm. Each muscle fiber contains parallelly arranged myofilaments or myofibrils. So this is a muscle mass, which is divided into various uh, bundles of muscles. We call them muscle fascicles. Muscle fascicles have various numerous muscle fibers, and each muscle fiber contains numerous myofibrils, which is made up of actin and myosin filaments. Now, if we will take one myofibril, it has alternate light and dark bands. The A bands are also called anisotropic band or dark bands, and the light bands are called isotropic or I band. So, due to presence of these alternate light and dark bands, we call them striated muscles. One myofibril or myofilament is made up of two proteins, the actin and myosin protein. They are also filamentous protein. This one is the Z line. Between these two Z lines, the structures are present are called sarcomere. In one sarcomere, we have one dark band, and on either side, we have half light bands. In one dark band, we have a specific zone. We are calling it M. This zone is called H zone, and a line which is traversing in mid is called M line, and in between the mid of light band there is a Z line. So basically these two Z lines, the structures are called as sarcomere. I bands contain actin and dark band contains both actin and myosin filament. and these filaments are arranged parallel to each other. A band, uh, that A band bears a H zone or H band that is formed of mainly myosin. A thin dark line M line runs through the center of H zone. I band similarly like the dark band which was intersected by the uh, M line or H zone. I band is also bisected by a dense dark band line. We call it Z line, and the region between two Z lines is called sarcomere. So sarcomere is the structural and functional unit of the skeletal muscles. Now, the myofilaments or myofibrils have two specific filamentous proteins. The first one is the actin protein, and the second one is the myosin protein. An actin filament is made up of two filamentous actin which forms double helix. This one is the actin helix. And the other two proteins are named as tropomyosin and troponin. So this is the tropomyosin, and these smaller proteins are troponin, which have three subunits: troponin C, troponin I, and troponin T. So in case of actin, mm, we have actin filamentous protein, which is made up of by double helix, and the other proteins are tropomyosin and troponin. Two filaments of tropomyosin runs along the grooves of the F-actin double helix. Troponin has three subunits. It is located at regular intervals on the tropomyosin. In the resting stage, a subunit of troponin masks the binding sites of the myosin on the actin filament. So in the resting stage, a subunit of troponin marks the binding sites for myosin on the actin filaments. During contraction, these heads of myosin filaments got attached uh, to these binding sites of actin and would be responsible for the contraction of muscles under the contraction coupling mechanism. Now come to the structure of myosin filament. Each myosin filament is a polymer of many monomeric proteins called meromyosins. A meromyosin have heavy meromyosin or light meromyosin. The heavy meromyosin is responsible for the head or short arm, and the light meromyosin forms tail portion. In myosin filament, we have various meromyosin proteins. Heavy meromyosin forms the head and arm portion, short arm portion. The light meromyosin forms the tail portion of myosin filament. So this one is the tail portion of myosin filament, and this one is the arm, and this one is the head. This head binds with the actin filament during contraction coupling mechanism.